Right? And I'm not playing no games. Yo.
Hey there, I am Pops, and welcome to another movie review. I'm going to keep my glasses on for this one because I want to talk about Baahubali, and I want to make sure I get my notes right because I did misspeak a lot of times last time, and I'm new to Indian cinema. RRR, I think, is literally just such a massively good film that even America and people that are not real familiar with that. Those creators in that industry over there, they're taking note, and I've had a lot of great suggestions. So I watched part one. There's two parts, and I've not watched the second one. Bahubali, the beginning is what I've watched so far, and I always tell you, I want to go through what I like about it. A couple of reasons why I think that audiences didn't connect with it as well in 2015 to 2015 film. I think it's a great film. I think it's worth the watch, and it's something I can recommend. But I can also go through some things I think show the difference between the two. And I'm not trying to hold everything up to RR, but for me, maybe I just came in at the wrong time with the wrong film, and I hate comparing it to that. But basically, the director is the same. So I was, thinking that, well, I want to start there, right? Because I like Rajamouli's work. I thought this was great. I think he's got a great eye. Great techniques and things like that. So quick overview with the film, and I apologize if I misspeak on some of the names and some of the different things. The film has sort of two elements. The backstory is where I'll start with a character, Shivdu. Starts with a mom saving this baby in a river, basically just holding this baby up so it doesn't drown. She's got the best of two soldiers trying to kill her, but she does everything she can to fight the baby, fight to save the baby. And the story starts with a little bit of a montage with this young boy. He's mischievous because he always wants to climb that mountain. She can't get him to stop. And he's just pressing through, man. He's just pushing through, persevering to find a way. And he's just convinced that there's a reason to climb this mountain. Then he ultimately finds this mask. This mask shows up in this water, and he starts fantasizing about this mask. And ultimately, there's this really cool shot with the mask in the sand. It kind of does an indentation. It kind of creates this lady's face. He starts fantasizing about this fictitious woman that motivates him to finish that climb and make it over the top, which he does ultimately. And that's where he runs across Avanthika, who is this kick butt woman. She is freaking awesome. Tamannaah, I think is how you say her name. I apologize again if I get it wrong. Beautiful lady, kicking butt, taking names. It's kind of weird that his solution is to swim over and draw on her hand in a seductive way. Anyway, so we have a little bit of that, and we get a little bit of background, and we get a little bit of an introduction to Kattappa. I'm really having a hard time with this. And the language for us through our translations and our subtitles and stuff, it goes by quickly that it's hard to know. I feel like I'd be mocking it more by trying to say it with an accent. So anyway, he's a really cool dude. He really has a lot of presence about him. He's technically a slave, but he's committed to his king because of the heritage and the devotion of his ancestors. So the intro scene is really, really cool because he has this little quick sword fight with a Persian swordsmaker who's convinced his sword is the best ever. This guy bests him, actually breaks the sword. Anyway, this guy's ready to like do whatever it takes to get him free. So it's very, very cool. Then we quickly get introduced to Bhallaladeva. He's basically the cousin of this guy. He's quite literally strong as a bull. We get some back and forth with some of that kind of stuff, and then you have this sword fight, and Shivdu and Avanthika, they end up in a sword fight, but then they end up in the snow, which I thought was kind of weird. But then they end up back in a waterfall. This was actually I liked it in some ways. I didn't like it in other ways. Anyway, it's really cool. It's a super sexy scene where he's basically undressing her. He's putting makeup on her in the middle of this battle. It was really done really, really well. That she just sees a different side of herself, and it just really draws them together and really kind of makes them connected. Then there's soldiers that are involved with trying to catch her, and it involves all about trying to have this big rescue of the queen who's being held by the evil king in the town. Anyway, Shivdu says, listen, we're together, we're bonded now. You're with me, I'm with you. Your problem's my problem. I'm going to go take care of this. So that's all really, really good. And then it's all about setting up a way to save Princess Devasena. So anyway, so that's kind of how that plays for a while. And you start to see this transition into the other character. So the other character, which we find out, and again, all sorts of spoilers, this movie's a while ago, is Baahubali. So Baahubali is what we transition to, and we start to see more about this dynamic of who Shivdu is and who Baahubali is. So Shivdu is rescuing a princess, and that's going to put him in conflict with Kattappa. And it's really, really some good stuff, really some epic stuff, really, really do. And it comes to a big climax where Kattappa sees who he really is. He's they call him Baahubali. Well, he's technically the offspring of Baahubali. He's junior. Now, the film does not do a great job of telling us that we're now going to have a flashback sequence that most of the movie I care most about is that, which is actually Baahubali Senior, which is the dad, and this is the son. So the scene is freaking great, though, I have to be honest. The scenes are awesome, absolutely incredible. So there's a time jump there. It does get confusing, at least a little bit on the surface. Anyway, so then the story basically is about Baahubali and Balireddy, and there's some sort of traitor involved. And you basically end up with these different sequences. You see some different journey with these two guys where they're cousins, and one is at least acknowledging that he's an heir to a throne. The other one's jealous. He's vindictive and mean and cruel. There's even like a scene where he tries to kill him. And all this stuff is setting up the fact that there's this traitor. This traitor's actually gone and gotten this savage tribe to attack them. They seize them as weak. This is their opportunity. And they come up with this crazy plan. Baahubali comes up with this crazy plan that they've never done before. And whoever can kill this king is going to get to be the new chief. So the uncle, who's corrupt, kind of a figurehead on the throne, is kind of like helping the devious of the two, who basically looks like a freaking Indian version of Eric Bana, by the way. Sorry. Anyway, these great shots, great battle scenes, and those kinds of things. So let me play some footage and kind of go through a little more of what I like and don't like, or why. So first off, the CGI in these scenes, these incredible epic shots and things like that. This is really tremendous. I really realized that this industry there, this Tollywood, Telugu, as I understand it, massive investment in computer tech and beautiful CGI work and transformations and stuff like that. So it's just really, really done well. A lot of these shots with this is when he's young, climbing, that kind of thing. This stuff is just, look at these shots. These shots are just really beautiful. I know there is some CGI. There are some shots that are not very good. Like the shot with the bull, I thought was very weak. Like it doesn't quite look right. Like it's a little off, and there's some shots not as polished. But again, it's been 7 years, so technology is advanced. They've learned. They've got better people. It's freaking great. So, yeah, this is a part of these hot ladies, man. These ladies are just beautiful. So, and I want to give props to Prabhas. He's the lead actor. He plays two different roles, right? Because he's playing like the young version, the Shivdu, and he's playing Baahubali. And these scenes are really, really good. These epic scenes. Look at the the grandeur. Oh, this is freaking great. I love the statue. So it because no one has said anything about Baahubali, they feel like it's in their past. But when they see Shivdu and they see he's basically like their superhero, right? So instead of having like for us Americans, we've been caught up in like Star Wars and Marvel superheroes and all that. And these guys are kind of like that. Same thing with RRR. They're like these main characters are almost like superheroes. They're like picking up vehicles and animals and throwing humans around, and they're like super strong and super capable. We see that out of Shivdu early on, right? Because his mom is like, no, I need you, I want to pray to the God. I have to do this sacrifice with this water and do this, so therefore my son will stop acting like a crazy person. And he literally just picks this thing up and carries it. And it's freaking this great scene, sets it right in the water so she won't have to go back and forth. And they see this superhuman strength. And he Prabhas, he freaking rocks this scene. It's so good. And they start to see him who he really is. He's something special. He's something, I won't say godly, but he is. He's sort of like that. Like, is he really Shiva? Is he really their God? Is Shiva? Later, when you see the statue, it's like it sort of becomes this metaphor of, yeah, they're raising the statue to you, but this other statue, this other figure, this Baahubali figure, he's way bigger than you, man. So let me see where I'm at on the trailer. Just these epic shots, beautiful scenes. That was a shot when she's a prisoner. This was okay. I thought it was a little strange, like. We just kind of gloss over this is how it is. There's not a lot of context, stuff like that. This is Kattappa. He's freaking great. This dude was awesome in all of his scenes. This is one of the crazy characters, and this is one of the action sequences with the crazy guy. And this was near the end of the film. This was when he comes into his own. This is the Shivdu scene. Ooh, this scene was freaking epic. Oh my gosh. And then he becomes subservient where he puts his foot on his head, like when it flashes to the baby. I wish they had done some of that context with the baby, so we would have been able to piece it together. They just kind of drop it on us at the last second, like here's the shot, here's this previous thing. That's why the character cares. We in the audience don't know that, so it's a little hard for us to appreciate it as much in that moment. And this was the look on their face when they see these amazing feats that he's doing. That's his adopted mom. Just seeing him, yeah, Rajamouli. Oh, he does a good job. He's such a grand director. I mean, he's like such a good eye for all of this. The scale, like if you love, like Americans, if you guys love films like Braveheart and Patriot and things like that, this is their version of that kind of stuff. It's really, really good. So they're headed into that final battle sequence, and these scenes were freaking great. And if anything, I have to be honest. If there was anything, that was the bad guy. That's the savage leader that they have to kill. I wanted more blood and guts in this kind of stuff. They made him kind of, I don't know, just a black version of them. He was all right. He was cool. They gave him a fake eye. Gave him like just kind of a weird Mad Max look about him as well. They're very savage. They use human shields in this battle sequence. So when they're all lining up, he uses human shields at the last minute, and Baahubali finds a way to save them. Whereas the other guy, the evil cousin, is just like, he just mows them down because he's got this crazy chariot with like a helicopter propeller thing flying around, man. It was crazy. So yeah, they kind of hold back on some of the bloodshed. Like they hold back on the nudity too. We don't get subject to a bunch of stupid, gratuitous things. They can be sexy and sweet and cute and romantic without getting into that kind of stuff. So these sequences are just really, really great, really fast, really intense. Kind of like you can see like shots like this. You can see the forerunner to RRR with all that. You really can't see this is the guy that's going to do this kind of stuff. This was that scene where the mom's in the water trying to save the baby. I don't think there's any more shots. There was so much epic about this. Just really liked it. So one thing is the first part of the film, the pacing for the Shivdu stuff is actually a little clunky, a little hard, a little slow. I will say the whole relationship thing with like drawing on her hand and then drawing on her shoulder with the snake, there's elements to it that work, but it's also like not believable. Like you don't necessarily buy that he's somehow able to pull that off without her knowing. Like that, it just didn't work for me as well. I will say just their dance sequence where they're doing their sword fighting and their stuff. I loved all that. It's beautiful. Um, and I just want to say that she is just an amazing, beautiful, and powerful actress. Like she could be a lead superstar as far as like a female led action things. It's literally like the stuff that we were like here in the States. They keep trying to make, but they keep hiring these little 100-pound blonde girls that look ridiculous, like trying to play a superhero. So the scale of these epic battles were done really, really well. It, like I said, it was a little hard to understand. Like it's supposed to be part of the twist is that the backstory comes later. It's not in chronological order, but you don't quite understand because the same actor plays the same role. So to reveal it's a dad and piece it all together, it is for us, it's sort of like out of order storytelling like that without a little better messaging. Because you guys, there's no real edits and things that tell us like this is going to be a flashback now or this is going to be this now. So it's like it is a little hard, and it is probably a lot to do too with some of the language barrier. Like some things probably just translate better directly than through subtitles. This is what we're working with. Performances I think are great. I can't think of any performance. I think there's also a lot of innovation with the script. The script is kind of like when they shoot this, they're going to head into battles. So the one's getting chariots and all this cool weapons, and he like takes these tents, and then he shoots these tents over them, and it's soaked in oil. So when they use a arrow on fire, it just wipes out. I mean, oh, so brilliant, so good, so awesome. And the film deals with just these hardcore human values, like the mom doing anything she can do to save that baby. You know, when Baahubali is a kid, Baahubali Jr. is a kid, he's fallen down, but he's going to find a way to get up. He's going to climb that mountain, right? Then, of course, the Baahubali dad, the warrior getting ready to head into battle, gives that Braveheart speech, that freedom speech. I think it's about death, right? Because they see this death flag and they all start freaking out, right? Because they have this phalanx, like this. They put their shield stuff like this perfect wall that you can't get through. But then it starts to kind of break down, and he's like, "Death. What are you afraid of? What do you got to live for?" And he's like, "Cowardice on the battlefield is death." And I'm like, "Oh, yes." He's giving that speech and takes an arrow. And you're like, "Holy crap! This dude freaking took an arrow." I was like, "Man, this is so good. It's so much fun." There's one point where the dude, that crazy savage guy, oh my god, he plays so dirty. He was throwing dead bodies on Bahubali's like covered in like dead bodies. Like what is happening? It was such a great wild ride. I loved it so much. I really had a good time with all that. Like I said, I think I'm seeing the film now. I would have enjoyed it, I think, more if I'd seen it closer to when it came out. But when I hold it up to the other work, we'll see. I'm going to see part 2. I'll watch part 2 and get to that video probably next week. I doubt I can get to it tomorrow. But I'll try. We'll see. I have a lot of interviews and stuff to do. Anyway, for those of you that are watching this, and I know a lot of you are just really passionate, love this stuff. You're way ahead of me on this curve, because this is like literally my second film, because I've only had Bollywood experience up until now. And I will say, like, there's this scene where they go into like the marketplace looking for that trader, and there's like this musical scene. They have like the 3 hot ladies. I'm like, it's all right. I think that those musical sequences are the ones that we can lose. Like that one, what didn't need to happen. They could have just had 3 ladies dancing or something. Maybe we didn't have to have a musical sequence, and that would be easier on the American audience too. So I know culturally we have issues and things like that, but I will say this: I'm enjoying it. Give you guys a lot of credit, because this is a lot of amazing craftsmanship and filmmaking, CGI work, performances, stuff that really should be getting credit that's not been getting credit, and I didn't really pay enough attention to, and I'm trying to right that ship. So anyway, tell me what you think. You guys are really good about also giving me like a lot of recommendations, so I'll have to continue to check back around and make sure I'm catching up with some of the things you guys think I should watch. So I will do that as well. So I appreciate it, man. It's like I said, it's been it's been a fun ride. I've been enjoying it so much. So, but I am new, so please be easy on me. Don't hate the messenger. I'm trying. If you give me some chances, give me comments, maybe subscribe even if you check out some of my other videos that I do. I'm trying to branch into some stuff that I think is good. Part of the thing the problem we're having here in the States is some of our content and some of our stuff is so bad that this is something I can recommend. So that's why I wanted to do a video. So I appreciate you guys recommending it. I will try to watch part 2. I don't know if I can get it done by the end of day tomorrow or not. If not, it would probably be next week before I can get a review posted. But I will try. So anyway, that's my review. Tell me what you think. Hit me up with those comments, and I really appreciate the feedback. And listen, thank you so much. I'm going to go out with that credit scene.
Yeah. Right? And I'm not playing